There you go. We're coming in straight away. See that? We're getting right to it, aren't we? Stats?
We are, John.
We are.
Abfab.
Well, Abfab, yes. Abfab and Stats. There we are, that great team. There we go. There we are.
I was going to say Abflab. But,
Yeah,
not anymore.
Abflab. No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't say that anymore.
Not anymore, no.
Not anymore.
Can I?
This is the new Abfab. This is 2 stone less Abfab. Tell you. Okay. I had one of my testicles removed. I'm sorry, ladies. Anybody listening? That made him laugh.
I nearly followed up with something else then, but I'm going to leave it.
There you go. Right. Okay. Well, we're actually doing very well with a lot of the stuff that we're putting out, and we'd like to thank everybody for their support. Okay, and the new people as well. I mean, for serious. I mean, it's great. We're getting out there, and we're very grateful. So thank you very much. Anyway, okay. A lot going on. And remember now, this is an over 18 podcast.
Yes.
Okay.
The podcast, which is running a little bit later than normal on a
Indeed.
Wednesday. But that's my fault. Apologies. But we're here better late than never.
Because he was on a secret mission. And he's Mr. Mysterious. And even he doesn't know what he was doing. So there you go. So he can't tell anybody. If you were to put him under some form of torture right now, he would go, kill me? Because I just don't know. But anyway, that's the wrong thing to say on this podcast right now. We're going to go straight into it. We know that there is so much going on at the moment. And we kind of got the feeling that, this country is on the brink. There is definitely a massive tension. And it's all to do with these people.
Say that again.
All to do with them, okay? And I just don't understand why these people... Well, here's an explanation. And I thought that you might like this, Mark, because this guy seems to have sort of nailed a few things that you've said in the past, I've said in the past. And he wraps it up very, very neatly. Here it is.
Let's have a listen.
Oh.
Supermarkets have made 18,000 people unemployed.
It's not her. That's sorry. That's this country.
The left knows that they are demographically doomed forever. So the only thing that they can do, number one, is seize on your kids, seize on the family relationship, and use something there to try to inject their minds with the woke mind virus, toxic ideology, or to add in people from across the world who don't share the same common belief system, which encourages mass migration of all types into the country.
Well, there you go. Woke mind virus. I had to think about that. And mass migration. Does that ring any bells over here in this country?
I don't know, but they come up with that Kung Flu fake vaccine thing. So couldn't they come up with one for the woke mind virus quick enough? You know what I mean?
It is happening. But there are some people that actually just turn around and say no. Like, look at this Dane. He gate crashes an LGBTQ LMNOP plus.
No, that's not quite correct. So, mate,
all right. Well, what was it then? Tell me.
It's just a festival in Denmark or wherever it is, where they just dress up and reenact things. That was actually that was fake news.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for sending it to me. I was going to put it on. You stopped me from doing it. Okay, that's fine.
You can show it if you want, but
no. Well, yeah, I will actually. Yeah, here we go.
It wasn't LGBT.
Look at him. He's big.
It might look like LGBT, but it's not. He is.
Well, let's look like we know what we're doing, actually. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that, okay? We're going to ask the question, is the UK... All right, shut up. Is the UK really free?
I just wanted to say he looks a bit cross. Sorry. Go on. Moving on.
Do you know that if the government doesn't like you, it can send you into exile? It can prevent you receiving or making any payments. It can, in fact, turn you into an unperson. Well, it can, and it has done so in one unique case to a British citizen called Graham Phillips, who I don't particularly like and who has done things I don't particularly approve of. But it seems to me that if the government wants to do things like that to people, it needs to arrest them and charge them and try them and convict them in front of a jury. But it didn't do any of these things. It just issued some sanctions from the Foreign Commonwealth Office, and as a result, Mr. Phillips cannot live in any normal fashion. In the winter, if he wants to have a bath, he has...
Wait a minute. We can't live in any normal fashion either over here. So, anyway.
Drag an old bathtub out into the courtyard of the derelict block of flats where he tries to live and light a fire underneath the tub to heat the water. He's pretty much destitute and he can't come home. Now the European Union has joined in and sanctioned him as well, which means that if he wanted to come home, he can't because he isn't allowed to pass through EU territory or through EU airspace. This is partly ludicrous and it's partly sinister. It's sinister because it's very, very like the great novel The Trial by Franz Kafka, in which a man is accused of something he knows not what by an authority he can't contact and is found guilty by a process he has nothing to do with. This is not how we're supposed to organize or do things in this free country, supposedly under Magna Carta and the Bill of Rights and the rule of law and the presumption of innocence. He hasn't done any of those things. He's tried to fight it in the civil courts. He's even written to the king, but nothing happens. Now he's in the ridiculous position where he isn't even allowed to pay his council tax. That would be against the law to his local council on the house he still owns in London. So the council is asking for the right to break into the house and take away his belongings to pay for the council tax he isn't allowed to pay them. Can you imagine how ludicrous this is? It seems to me
this is true. This is all
an enormous, controversial and worrying thing. If nobody ever protests against things like this, then the government realizes it can get away with them. If any future government takes against you or me or anybody, it can impose regulations like this upon them and they can be punished without trial. And what he did, and the thing they didn't like, was actually what he said. And this is what he's accused of doing, of saying things they disagree with. Disagreeing with the government, sent into exile, made effectively bankrupt. But where are the protests? Where are the demonstrations? Where are the questions in Parliament? Where are the adjournment debates? Nowhere. Nobody cares, and nobody will care until it happens to somebody who matters to you.
Wow. I mean, be honest. That is a shocker. I mean, what is it? What is it about that guy? What has he said? Because, I mean, the same thing was happening to Tommy Robinson. The only difference is that, they've actually made it so difficult for this guy to live in the country. He can't pay his council tax. So the council is going to take his belongings off him because of the council tax that he can't pay. I mean...
That's funny that though, John, because I think I stood in an election about 7 years ago and Wirral Council, I think it was something like 100 million paid council tax. So they're not that bothered about it because there'll be a fresh lot the next year, won't there? So, but the certain people's doors you're going to want to boot up. I've not heard of this guy, which is, I'm surprised.
Well, I thought it was just such an interesting story from Peter Hitchens, and he was basically just, telling it as it is. And I mean, basically, if you are completely ostracized like that, you can't do anything. It's like you become a no person.
What did you say? It's like living in a Cat D prison.
That's what I said.
It sounds like it's worse than that for him.
That's what I say.
What it sounds like? This is what it's like for the kids in school, though, to a degree, mate, because they treat a lot of the kids like that for saying things, mate.
Yeah, I get you.
You just see it's reverberating through society, isn't it, to be honest? And,
that's because of what that guy was explaining earlier on about the left knowing that they're losing the battle. They're losing the demographics and they're losing the politics. They know it. And so the only thing that they can do is what you normally say they do. They will
double down. Go harder.
That's it. And they'll abuse their position. I know that. I see that. I'm experiencing certain things which we're going to be doing a story on. And I keep on saying this. And hey, everybody up there at Queen Street, you better know we're coming for you. We're definitely coming for you. All right? Get the message.
Sorry, I thought you finished. It's this pattern again, isn't it, where someone creates a problem, but they won't take any accountability for the problem.
Correct. That's what it is.
Blame other people for the problem, and whilst trying to claim to fix the problem that they created and pat themselves on the back. Apart from sometimes they're not fixing the problem, though, are they?
They're not doing anything.
Like, we'll go, we've got immigration down, legal, maybe. Okay, legal. That's a good start. Fair play. Something governments have failed at for decades. Well, the wrong ones are still coming in. They're still they're still here from the past, and they're still chopping heads off, and they're still abusing women. So you've not fixed it, have you?
Well, people are. I mean, people are not saying anything about Lee Rigby. There are so many of them that you can just pick up on and just say, well, it didn't happen through another white guy. Another white guy didn't do that. And the pictures that are going about. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say some lefties have got a couple of examples that span over years.
Oh.
Whereas I can just go, I'll raise you so-and-so for the last couple of weeks. Yeah.
No, I'm sick of them. I'm absolutely sick of them. And here's Katie, who actually gave a great summing up of what's really, really going on, and especially from the BBC. Here we go.
She's been shafted too, hasn't she, John? She's non-personaire, but she's come through the other side.
Of course she has. About. Strong lady, very strong lady. Here she is, batshit bonkers Britain, Katie Hopkins.
Breaking news here on Planet Crazy, here in batshit bonkers Britain. First up, the BBC reports that a man was taken to hospital with serious injuries after a stabbing in Belfast. Let me just correct that for you, BBC, shall I? A white man is in hospital with life-threatening injuries because a stabby black illegal tried to chop his head off in the street with a small knife. He was sawing at the man's neck as the man was groaning, and now he's in hospital. A woman who witnessed the attack had to be taken to hospital herself because she was in deep shock at seeing such a horror on the streets of Northern Ireland. In other news, over in America, a referee from Somalia has been banned entry, his name Omar Artan, because of Trump's excellent immigration policy. And you may say, oh, that poor referee, oh, that poor man. Yeah. Yes, but here's how great immigration policy works. You may keep out a couple of good guys, but what you also keep out is the stabby bastards who come here to try and chop our heads off. And finally, in a genius move, Tata Steel shut all of its blast furnaces in Wales because we need to save the planet and we mustn't burn oil or gas despite it being there under the sea just sitting there. And they said they were going to open an electric arc furnace, which would be so much better because, of course, electricity is made by the farting of penguins and the flapping of the wings of butterflies and the baaing of newly born lambs. But any the which way, Tata Steel have now realised that because the UK doesn't burn oil or gas anymore, and because renewables don't really work, we haven't got the electricity that we need in order to make the electric arc furnace work. So it seems like we maybe do need oil and gas after all. That's it, my darlings. Everything's normal. Batshit bonkers Britain.
I love it.
Away with words.
It's lovely, 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 and I love the way that she gets those things across. Okay, another member of the dominant race talking sense. I know, because that's what I call my wife, a member of the dominant race.
Well, look at her there, John. She's been through hell and back, but she's still here. She's still smiling. She's still cracking the jokes. A good old British humour there.
I know.
Through a right mess.
Well, here, we're going to move straight on to, things to do with Belfast and Ireland. But here's a comment on two-tier policing. And this guy is, he is actually really, really very, let's say he's a little bit forward. Check this out.
I genuinely thought, as I was watching that, if anyone says this and denies the existence of two-tier policing, they're either mental or they're a fucking bald-faced liar. And look, most people seem to have been like, bloody hell, this is bang out of order. There's clearly a fucking problem here. But the fact that the Prime Minister of this country could get up and speak after this and say that two-tier policing doesn't exist after we've just seen the best example humanly fucking imaginable even. I could imagine a million different scenarios and probably not make one as bang on as that is. We could have a 1,000 years of policing go by and not find another example as fucking nailed on as cops treating people that differently based on the colour of their skin. And yet the Prime Minister's still denying it there with a straight face. That's after he finally acknowledged that it had actually happened. You'll all remember that he sat in silence for weeks and weeks and weeks, never said a fucking thing. And only when the body cam footage was released and the whole world's pressurizing him, Elon fucking Musk is tweeting going, why hasn't he said anything about this yet? How come the richest man in the world who's got all these companies and all this money to fucking worry about is mentioning it, but the leader of this country, silent? Imagine that. Keir Starmer was like the last public figure to even fucking acknowledge that. Such leadership. And much like the Southport murders that happened, his attention quickly turned from, yeah, it's really sad, isn't it? Right, now let's silence everyone who's fucking talking about it.
We need to also assert who we are as a country, because Musk, again, has been interfering in our politics in the last few days, trying to whip up division. That is not who we are in Britain. In Britain, we are reasonable, tolerant people. When we have a terrible case like Henry's case, Henry Novak, we react calmly, as his family have done. When it comes to disgusting images on Grok, we take Grok on.
What the fuck does Grok have to do with the Henry Novak case? You're only mentioning Grok because you hate the fact that Elon Musk allows for freedom of speech on his platform, in which you get community noted on a regular basis for all the fucking lies you tell. That's why you don't like Elon Musk. You're saying he's trying to whip up division. He's asking, why has the leader of that country not mentioned this enormous fucking injustice yet? And you know what else he does that I really don't like? He goes, in Britain, we're reasonable, tolerant people. What that really means is British people, we take shit. We don't do anything about it. There's never any change. There's never...
The guy's right. I mean, you know, everything that he's saying, he's bob on. Everything that he's saying. I mean, people, you know, but there is a movement, okay? Now that, you know, people are actually sort of pissed off. I mean, because here's another thing that's happening.
Yeah. Before you do, can I just make a comment on Starmer? Because Carl Benjamin had a cracking reply. So obviously, they were all out in force this morning, weren't they? Blaming everyone but themselves for destroying the country. I'll try in this Keir Starmer voice. I'll just do it in a normal voice, because the scenes in Belfast last night were shocking, completely unacceptable. There's no justification for the violence and disorder that we saw threatening our communities, nor for those who encourage it online, blah, 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 blah. And then Carl Benjamin just comes in and goes, every immigrant who attacks us for who we are, and you tolerate it every time. Because basically he's saying that he's not going to tolerate this behaviour, because there's a bit more to the tweet.
Yeah. And
he's bob on. Oh, you got it there? Oh, that was magic. But he's bob on. He said, well, I'm not going to tolerate this. Far right. Blah, 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 blah. And then, well, but you tolerate attacks on the natives every time, though, don't you? Don't look back in anger and all that bollocks. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
yeah, I think what was that? True Geordie was his name, was he? He's got a.
Well, GB News. Yeah, GB News did a survey about civil servants working from home, and this is what they found out. You know, I mean, God,
hundreds, maybe thousands of civil servants allowed to work from the beach.
Only 8 of the government departments that were surveyed actually bothered to respond. 6 did not. And of those 8 that responded, about 359 civil servants were found to be able to clock in and clock out from work abroad, from Uzbekistan, from Sweden, you name it. There's all over the place. And guess what the world's culprit department is? The Minister for Net Zero. Look, at a time when so many British people can't even afford a foreign holiday because of the tax on travel, which the government have brought in, it is extraordinary that so many civil servants are able to work from abroad.
What?
I was going to say,
make sense, please. Make it make sense.
I was going to say, it definitely isn't a beach in this country where the migrants are firing fireworks at everyone. So it's got to be somewhere fancy like the Seychelles or something. You know what I mean?
Something like that. I mean, you know, what the hell are we doing in this country?
It's permanent piss take, isn't it?
That's what it is. I mean, they only seem to be looking after themselves and their groupings, the civil servants, their own cohorts, everything. And so this, you know, I'll tell you, there's a message here for Rupert Lowe from this woman. Have a listen to this. I mean, I'm just like, oh my God, because I actually think that we are on the brink of civil war in this country. It just feels like it because so many people are so unhappy.
Afternoon all. Right, get straight to the point. So this is a message for the people across Britain. It's also a message for Rupert Lowe more specifically, following on from the attack, the attempted beheading that we all witnessed last night. And if we look at Novak and all of the other things that have happened in recent years because of mass immigration, I think we've reached a point where we fully understand now that we cannot rely on the government, we certainly cannot rely on the police, and we cannot rely on the judiciary. And between myself and group and teams of people, we have enough evidence to be able to stand up in a non-biased court and prove every single one of those statements is correct. We are beyond waiting for officialdom to do something, and we certainly do not have time to wait till the next election, Rupert. I'm sort of targeting you, Rupert, right now, because whilst I'm not really a fan of the political system, I think the entire thing's corrupt. I certainly think out of everyone, you're the one who may listen. And I do hope that time will prove that you are a true patriot and are not bought and paid for like pretty much every other politician. So there is a plan in my mind that we can utilise to push back against this. We are in need of some sort of revolution. This is a time for we, the people, to take back control. But we do not need to do this in a world of violence and law breaking. I think we need to be a little bit wiser than that. Obviously, self-defense is self-defense, but what I'd suggest as a plan is now we're seeing the unification of people across the UK.
You're right,
they've had
Daniel.
enough, and we need to really put aside these left-right paradigms, female versus male paradigms, black versus white. We need to deal with stuff later down the line, but right now, actually, what we need to do is protect our people.
I don't know.
And it's become very clear that none of officialdom are going to make that happen. So what do we do? How do we take back control? What does that look like? Well, I would suggest that we have
she's given a good idea.
And we get together and we get organised, where we block, and I've said this before, but we block these people from accessing their places of work. And we make our demands, and those will have to be kind of put together. But I think very much along the lines of government do X, Y, Z now, or call a general election. And again, whilst I don't think political system is...
I think she's pretty close to it. I think she, if everybody got behind it and decided that's it, because Australia threatened this. They threatened it. And all of a sudden, the government went very, very quiet. And they stopped with their way. They were getting a little bit too forceful, and the Aussies turned around and said no. Because you see, in Australia, just like in certain parts of Canada, if somebody wants something to happen, they can just disappear and they won't be found. Same in Canada. I was told they were that fed up with Pierre Trudeau. They said there might have been an accident where he disappeared over the Rockies or something like that. And that was it, And I was like, yep. Okay, well, I can't see that happening to Keir Starmer because everybody would be going, oh, look, there he is. That's the wanker there. He can't hide. Simple as that. But anyway, go on. What were you going to say?
I was just going to make a point about there is two identities we should probably still pit against each other, and that's the English against the establishment, probably.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think you might be wrong. I think before we go on about this Northern Ireland thing, I don't even think this has started yet. I'll be honest, this is nothing to the outcome of this. Look, I foresee worse to come, John. People are going to have to watch these daily rapes and murders and then be called the problem for noticing. This isn't going to get any better. We're at serious risk of this escalating. Look what's happened there now in Northern Ireland, and you've got this new IRA who've been posting videos recently as well.
Yeah.
And they are actually threatening those who facilitate this mess. Now, when they form and if they start targeting the root causes, mate, rather than burning random houses, because unfortunately some Irish citizens had their houses torched, the establishment's got a problem, mate, and I'm not confident that people are going to come to their aid when that starts to happen, mate. So, look, there's just nowhere near enough police to protect these people. These people have really got to start changing what's going on now.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, this is going to get to a point where we might not be able to save this politically. But these people are such low IQ, John. I'm not so sure they can work this out. They know there's a problem, but they won't. When are they ever going to take responsibility for it? They're not, are they? So they're going to have to be brought down in one way or another. And sadly, it could be that way, where I'd rather it was politically.
Well, just to give some context.
For one reason, though, because finish my point, because what if dangerous people end up in control of the country? If it's
there are dangerous people in control of the country.
I see what you're saying, mate, but what if even more danger? Do you know what I mean? Will we ever be able to have a government again that people can trust? It's just the consequences for this are far more serious than anyone realizes. These people have got to step aside now and let decent leaders come in and fix this mess, John, because these are just going to make it worse, mate, unfortunately. And
I'm a little bit more positive than that.
There's only one fella who's actually willing to call out everything.
It's Rupert Lowe.
It is, yeah.
It's Rupert Lowe. I'm more positive, about that. That's why that woman is making the message to Rupert Lowe. But if we go over to Ireland now, let's just give a little bit of context to what it is, because in Belfast, there are 4 areas, okay? North, south, east, and west. And, the politics is strange because one area is controlled by the DUP. One area is controlled by the Alliance. Sinn Féin is another area, and the other area is like sort of Sinn Féin, but the councillor is DUP. And I know, and it's a strange thing, and a lot of the trouble came into that. I think it was in the Bridging area, if I've got it right. Okay, and the people can get very, very emotional there. So when the Prime Minister starts talking about, calming things down and having a go at people, okay, for being angry, that's just like a red rag to a bull, because these people, they don't give a shit for Starmer. They really don't. And those people who come from that background with Sinn Féin, they don't give a shit about Starmer either. I mean, there was some memes going out saying the old ways are the best ways. Well, that's it. I mean, what the hell is he going to do? The police over there know, okay, that if they mess around with those people, okay, they can get hurt. And they won't be messing around. Like over here, the police know that they can get away with so much and they can do things. And it takes a hell of a long time for people to get justice for any injustice created by the police, because they put system and processes in the way, before people. And it costs so much to do it. Over there, they don't care. Whoever it is that's causing the problem, they'll just go get them. And it's as simple as that. And it's the same in Scotland. The only difference is that, Scotland is like a sort of a midway between Ireland and England. Why we are so, pacifist about certain things. And yet we've got some of the hardest people going, We really do have some tough guys over here. And we've got some real, people on the streets, who really wouldn't, think twice, about taking on the police, I mean, there's not enough police anyway.
But look, they've got a history of being up for a bit of a tear-up over there. And look, they're probably seeing the fact that normal protest and voting isn't fixing this.
No, they know that.
They'll go back to the ways that they know.
That's right.
And then you're gonna have a load of youth jump, because the youth will jump on. You've got a few scallies and troublemakers, and they'll jump on it all just for a bit of a laugh, because it's having to go with the police, isn't it? So,
but here's a reason for them.
Really, really quickly, John, as we found out with Southport.
Yeah.
Okay, I think they probably got off lightly where it stopped after a week or so. But if this is going to be happening every week, again, mate, it's...
Well, here's a description of the victim in Belfast. Listen to this, and this is just straight description from somebody that knew the family.
Was attacked. She says she used to babysit for him when he was younger. He's special needs, and he's hard of hearing. Yeah. And she said, disabled. Well, she said that she knows the family well, and she used to mind him. She said that wee lad has been living there, that young man, well, he's 47. She said he's been living there for about 2 years. And she said them foreigners that moved in only moved in like 4 days ago. Right. And he was doing everything to help them out when they moved in. And it's not just one. There was 2 of them jumped him. But the news hasn't given it out yet. The 2 of them moved into the flat. Wow. And one of them was the one that was arrested. The other one hasn't been mentioned anywhere in the news yet.
But he was involved in the attack, allegedly.
This is what she said. This is why
she's just telling what she was
told. They're going
told.
ballistic because the wee lad originally came from Rathcoole, and apparently he did everything to help them.
Yeah. You think the authorities are trying to cover that kind of thing up? That there was a second.
The whole thing. They're trying to blanket everything that's going on today.
And the lad who was attacked was actually trying to help them move in.
He was helping them for the last couple of days. Apparently he's really kind, thoughtful wee lad, kind-hearted. That's what she said. She says, Margaret, he's the type of man, he would have done anything for anybody. She says, so he has been going out of his way to help him. Now, the reports we're hearing now is his nose has been cut, his eyes out, and he's blind in the other. That he can't hear anybody, he's hard to hear him. What life has he got when he comes out of intensive care?
See, this is the other side of it too, and that's why people get angry, because when that truth comes out within the community, they're going to react. And it's as simple as that, because there's a guy that couldn't defend himself against that guy, and they're just going to go in. And I'll tell you, if that guy goes into prison, wherever he goes into prison, they better deport him, because I'm telling you now, that man is going to get attacked. He's going to get attacked. There's be no doubt about it. He's going to get attacked.
Again, when people say this alien culture, well, we can give you examples of it. What about Rhiannon? Look, there's just two examples of where they've slaughtered, and not just murdered in, is there a normal way to murder someone? You know what I mean? This horrific murders, repeatedly stabbing her with a screwdriver, this guy being beheaded, and these are people that try to help them.
Yeah,
like literally try to help them. And
here's Rhiannon's mother.
Owen Jones, mate, who were just like, oh, mate, they're burning me head out at the minute, mate. You know what I mean?
Well, you spoke about Rhiannon. Here's her mother.
This is what I said about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. If our own government, Starmer has literally just ignored me. He's not even responded to my emails. He's not even, okay, we appreciate you emailing us, etc. Shabana Mahmood, not one single person has reached out to me.
Despicable.
And it's a case of, what do I do now? So if I can reach out to these 2 main figures in America, again, not about politics, colour, race, etc.
Look at that. She's been ignored.
Yeah. Well, it's no surprise, though, is it, John, to be honest? Because when they're not listened to, they have to go to alternative people. So the likes of Dan Wootton and Tommy and patriots like that. And then as soon as you've gone anywhere near them, they will have nothing to do with you. You're like a shoe with dog poo on. Oh, get that away. Do you know what I mean? They're not interested, mate.
That pisses me off, because that's what, I mean, I won't have any relationships at all, friendly or otherwise, with any Labour politicians now. None of them, because they are supporting the downfall of the people of this country, and they know it. They know it. And, these ideologies that they're supporting are replacing us, and that's what people are seeing. They're knowing it, okay? And go on.
sometimes, John, you have to maybe that time's gone, like you say, but in the past, sometimes you did have to work with people who you didn't share their way of thinking politically for the greater good, to help somebody, to help a grieving mother, and to try and help this not become even more of a pattern. But they just don't want to shift, mate. It's everybody else's fault apart from theirs. Like, and what type of human being lets this carry on and then says, "Oh, someone else is to blame"? I am sorry, but the politicians for the last 20 or 30 years, all of them are to blame for this, mate. They facilitated or not fought against it. They can keep jumping from party to party all they want and then calling out the old party, but we still see you. We still know what you did.
Well, they keep on saying it, and what they say is, it's the crime. It's the crime. Take color out of it, take culture out of it, it's the crime. No. That culture, their culture, is not compatible with this country. They have to go. Your ideology has to go. And you can see why people now are getting to the point whereby you are going to cause a civil war, and you're going to get people, in this country turning to an alternative form of democracy, and I think you know what I mean, in order to express themselves. And here's one of your rave ladies expressing herself. And I know that you like her. I know you do.
Nederlands.
I thought I had more or less seen it all till I saw the footage of this Somali trying to behead a white
Sudanese,
British man on the streets of Belfast last night. Yeah. I'm still sick to my stomach. This is not an incident. This is genocidal violence. This is what genocidal violence looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Enough is enough. It has been too much. We cannot live like this, and we don't have to live like this. This is why we started the Save Europe Act, to prevent this from happening on a daily basis. And it really already is. It really already is. This man lying here on the street, I don't even know if he's still alive. He needed remigration yesterday. He needed it yesterday. Europe needed remigration yesterday. It's time to get active. Wake up, Europeans. Wake up. This is not an incident. I don't care how the media is going to try and spin this. I don't care what happened before this, if they had an altercation or not. This is genocidal violence. This is what it looks like.
She's right. I mean, people have got to wake up and call it for what it is. You got to look at these politicians and say, fuck you. I'm white. I'm not interested in having multiculturalism in this country. That's it. Does that make me a bad person when we see scenes like this? Look at that guy slitting his throat, cutting him up in the way that he is.
The irony of the situation is it's not the people like the one chopping the head off who get banned from the country. It's her.
Yes, that's the truth.
Honestly,
yeah, she was.
You just said
she was banned.
Yeah, well, fuck Starmer and Kemi and all the other lame parties who are literally irrelevant.
Yeah.
And Owen Jones. All these people who believe they're all blaming now Reform and Tommy and Restore and all that for what's been going on for the last 10 or 15 years, which is getting worse. You can't reason with them. People are trying to reason with them on social media, trying to explain to them, but it's not their fault. They're standing up to what is the people who've caused the problem. These people are demented ideologues, and you will not get through to them. It's pointless even speaking to them, In fact, they should be the ones who are shunned from society and exiled like that guy before. Why not? Let's bring back exiling people, John, because then we can deport millions of people back to the shitholes they came from. And then
like France did to Napoleon.
Who we really need to get rid of. You're gone, you're banished from the shores, mate. Like what the Anglo-Saxons used to do. You can't do that, I'm British. Want to bet? Ta-ra.
We need a facility. We need a facility now to get rid of this government. The woman is right. Okay, I'm not so sure about the methodology, because if they carry on, the methodology is going to turn a little bit bleak, and the police are not going to be able to cope with it. I saw a video of a guy openly mocking the police and saying, you can't even run 10 yards. Look at the state of you. Okay? And do you think that you're going to be able to stop an onslaught if it comes? He said, with people like me, he said, men like me will demolish people like you. And he was just basically stating it out straight and looking at them, and they're all like this, and the women are looking at like this, like looking really tough. And he's just looking at them going, you got no chance.
They've got no chance, baby. You look at the London riots, mate. All right, that was a lot of people just looting shops and stuff.
Yeah.
They couldn't cope. And then look at when you have all right then, so Tommy does an event in London, and they need to bus in thousands of police from other areas of the country. Yeah. What happens if it's happening all over the country? They'd never be able to cope with it. So they're digging this massive hole here without taking a ladder down there with them, and they ain't going to be able to get out of it soon.
And the English are clever. The English are clever, Mark, because you know exactly what they'll do. All the people, all the ex-army who are so pissed off with this government for giving the migrants everything and doing nothing for them, they're going to turn around and they're going to say, right, you need to do this. This is it. And strategically, they'll work it out. And they'll stretch the police. And then they'll stretch the services. They'll put them out of action. And then this government will be sitting here just like Ceausescu was. And just like, some of the others were. And they'll be sitting there going, I'm the leader. I'm the leader. You're the leader of fuck all. You're the leader, right, of, a country that is failing. And you know it. You know it, but yet you will still polish the turd in Parliament today. I covered it, and I missed you. I missed you, by the way. I just have to say that. Your comments.
I missed you, but I don't miss that PM.
You don't miss the Parliament.
No, mate. No.
He didn't answer.
Just heckling anyone who has anything good to say. Just gets heckled.
He didn't answer any questions. He didn't. All he did was keep on deflecting with every question that was put to him, deflecting about the past government. So it doesn't matter what it is, what's happening. We've got the fastest growing economy in the G7. Bullshit.
I know. It's like Tice was calling him out for like serious shit, and he's like, "Oh, what about you and your businesses and your taxes?"
That's right.
No one gives a shit anymore about that crap, mate. We only care when you're up to no good. We don't care about what Nigel did 10 years ago, whatever fucking Tice has done before he's here. I don't really care about Tice and Nigel anyway. So I don't think they're going to be the answer to the solution.
No. Well, the solution to the problem.
I've realised what it said. The answer to the question.
Really articulate pair of presenters we are. Yes, we are.
I get distracted when I look to me side. But anyway.
I know, because you're looking at Eva.
But no, the way they heckle them in Parliament, I mean, what happens if, in the future, a lot of them aren't there anymore? Are they still going to heckle the majority of Parliament if the majority of Parliament's a reform or restore or a mixture or whatever's going to happen in the future? Are they all going to still heckle? These people are disgusting. They are traitors. When anyone stands up and says we need to stop this, it's all your fault. You're causing the problem. No. The whole reason you've got people like Farage and Tyson and Rupert Lowe in your Parliament is because of what yous have done to the country. They wouldn't be there if you done your job properly, and people weren't having their heads cut off and all the daughters and the wives attacked.
They'll destroy this country.
You still have your little system where you could, bend the rules, but you're not. It's time's ticking for them politically, and we've got to fix this politically before. Look, as I said, they've had it easy in this country. At the minute, it's blokes and there's pushy shoving and cones and wheelie bins and a few bricks. Well, they've just seen what it can turn into in Northern Ireland. And that's not even as bad as it could probably get. Look at some of these people talking about what's going to happen with civil wars. It's going to be bad, mate, if it gets to that point. And
especially if the English move on it. There's some guy who got 2 years and 8 months for throwing a cone at some police. I mean, how do you reckon that? How do you work that out?
I don't know. Again, sometimes you have to. I haven't looked at that story in detail, but during the Southpaw things, they were getting accused of stuff like that. And when you looked into it, some of the stuff was more serious. But if he's pleaded guilty to violent disorder for throwing a cone.
He did.
What else did you do? Punch a wall? But that you punched the wall. So was the wall offended? Did that press charges? Because it wouldn't surprise me. Did the wall identify as a trans whatever and say how that hurt? Because I'm really confused. Throwing a cone, the cone didn't even hit the police apparently. So why is he pleading guilty, is it?
See, this is the thing.
They're in there, John. Sorry, I finished my point. They're in there, aren't they? Again, doing what they've done to Lucy Connolly. If you don't plead guilty, you're going down for 5 years. What's the maximum sentence for this? Get yourself a decent, half-decent solicitor and just go, no comment, or don't even speak because you right to remain silent. Yeah, okay. And that's the last word you say to them. You find out everything they're going to get on you, and then you get yourself some decent representation and fight it, because a lot of them didn't end up in jail, did they? Southport. No. Sorry, go on.
Well, when I looked at that story, I was thinking, there are some of these migrants who are getting suspended sentences or being let out for rape. Mm-hmm. You know, and I can think of one in particular where one only got 11 months max. Okay, and that's another part of a story that's going to be coming out soon. But it really, really does piss me off. Now, that is what's going to set, the people of this country, and especially the English, against. I mean, everybody hates Starmer. At the moment, they're focusing in on him. And they're thinking that, Andy Burnham is going to be the answer. No. No. Labour are not the answer. They're not. They're not your friend. And if they keep on saying they're a friend of the working class, how come the unions are not standing up for fairness? How come the unions are not turning round to Starmer and saying, get out?
I know, but the unions are going over to reform, mate. So, I mean, they know where their bread's buttered financially in the future, don't they?
Yeah.
They know exactly Labour are gone. If they're seeing a lot of their own members saying voting reform, they're like, shit, we need to go where the money is.
Yeah.
And that's who's going to be in government, maybe. We'll see. Do you know what I mean? But what was I going to say? Starmer, again. Starmer's suffering from... he is suffering from the last government. They've, on the whole, let this mess fester. But who implemented a lot of the stuff, a lot of the laws that enabled this mess to continue? That was his Fabian mates. So it was Fabian mates stitched him up 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then he can keep going, the Tories did this and did that. Yeah, they've left you with the biggest problem. And the only way to fix it is you've got to be right-wing. Yeah. Lucky. Because you can't
I'm talking about unfairness of sentencing. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm not even talking about colour now. I'm talking about unfairness of sentencing. I mean, 2.5 years for that, and then a suspended sentence for rape. What's all that about?
Well, what that's about, we discussed this a little bit the other day, didn't we? Violence, logically, to most sensible people, is worse than words. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's got to be. I've asked the teacher, would you rather get punched in the face or called names? You can imagine what answer the teacher gave. So it's going to be interesting going forward. So you've looked at some of the laws, and they've given quite high sentencing guidelines for racist verbal abuse.
Yeah.
But in reality, they didn't used to actually use it. So if you were done for serious assault or ABH, you'd still get more than you would if you racially abused someone on the street with words.
Right.
But that limit was there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And now you can see what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're going up there, aren't they? It's like everything. Terrorism laws coming. It's all right. It's only for jihadis. Is it now? Now you get Tommy through the airport, Paul Golden through the airport. Anyone who comes through the airport you don't like, I'm having your phone. Terrorism laws, isn't it?
Yeah.
You go and film a police station. It's the first thing they come out. Terrorism, isn't it? Current climate. And you're like, I'm just filming something on the street, mate. You've got no right to tell me not to.
Yeah.
And they'll creep something in, and it's in your best interests. Like, social media ban for children. It's not for children, though, is it? No. Well, it is in a little way because they don't want them getting any.
Well, no, it's because they want to indoctrinate them first. Yeah. They want to indoctrinate them first. That's what it is.
But the overarching theme of it is, well, if we try and sign up for something, they're going to make sure that we're not under 16. Got everyone, haven't they, then?
Yeah.
Literally got us all, mate, yeah. Censored the lot of us by claiming to save the children when parents have got the ability to block anything they want on their kids' devices if they're on the ball. And if you're not on the ball, don't give them all the devices.
Correct.
It's not rocket science, mate.
Well, here's a segment, okay, to say that old rivalries in Ireland are over and there's a call to unite. Now, here's something that I found.
There's some unity.
Friends, north and south, orange and green. The days of the old rivalries are over. And if you cannot get that into your head, you may pack up and go to England and live in a country that's about to fall to the invaders. This is Belfast. not Bromley. We do not tolerate these type of attacks on our people, Catholic or Protestant. I'm going to tell you, last night, many men, Protestant men from the Shankill Road area, went over the peace line to stand with the good people of the New Lodge. Catholics and Protestants, orange and green, must unite if we have to see this threat off. I'm a chaplain with the Knights Templar Order. This is our flag here. It's my British flag here. But I'll be happy to stand with any Roman Catholic person, north, south, east or west, in solidarity against these attacks in our community. We're built different here. We're built different in this country. Both communities here have fought, bled and died for hundreds and hundreds of years over this land. We love this land. We have bled for it. We have died for it. What are we doing? Sitting here, watching people come to our country to murder our people.
Jim, a change is coming. A revolution has to be done, okay? The people of Ireland are sick of this. They're taking money from education, they're taking money from housing, they're taking money from mental health, everything to put into this crap, okay? There's people stepping over people on housing lists, people on housing lists for 10, 15 years, and these people coming in stepping over them, stepping over the line.
Where have you heard that before?
Line, you know?
Yeah, I think it's time for people to just, like, put your UFC gloves down. There's a different fight. Put your football boots down. Everyone now, down tools.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly what they did in Australia.
Any sportsmen, actors, anyone like that, have got any worth, any bollocks, you'll put that shit to one side for a bit.
Yeah.
And you'll say, we're done with this until the country's fixed. Because if we're all still shouting at the telly, come on, England, and all that, you know what I mean? Never going to fix it. Everyone needs to just put down what they're doing and go, right, we've got one mission now, and that's saving this country from this mess. Not just our country, most Western countries.
Well,
Look what they've done before you do. Look what they've done. The last success, this government, the last government, and obviously the one before, have done what people have tried to do for years, haven't they? And unite the people in Ireland, right? If only they would have known, just, import people who chop people's heads off, and you could have done it a lot quicker.
Quicker, yeah. It's happening. They wouldn't have had to have the Good Friday Agreement. It would have just been so different.
I'm kind of off joking there, but it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And the left, again, they just it's all about colour. These are all racists. No. It's not like that on our side. It's about doing the right thing. And I don't care where these people come from. They're a danger. So you can keep banging on about your black and white nonsense all you want. Owen Jones and the likes of cretins like that.
Oh, I'd love to debate these people.
There's no point.
I would love it.
They're demented, like I said before, demented ideologues. You've got no point. There's 1 million people saying the same thing to them on X every day for the last 10 years. And they're just going to keep coming back at you and coming back at you.
Well,
white people do it too.
In that case, then, the only thing that you can do is fight them. That's it. If there's no talking, the only thing other than talking is fighting, because there is no other way. What other way is there? If you cannot get a message across democratically, then the only other way is through force. That's it. That's what happens in every other country. Everybody else.
But everyone just blocks and just don't give these, like, I've blocked all these people. I never used to block anyone, so it was me. Narinder Kaur, all these people, right? All these race baiters, Owen Jones, I'm done with them, mate. I was done with them 8 years ago. They are a distraction because they get you wound up. You reply to them with an explanation and they will not accept it at all because they are demented. They're very low IQ and they've got their own agenda.
Well, let's move to start wrapping this up. Hold on, Mark.
They're looking for a response. Don't give it to them, and then they're talking into the void.
Yeah.
No one cares what they say, do they?
Here's what Gavin Robinson said on the incident. And, these are the MPs from the particular area. And Gavin Robinson is he's from the Belfast East. Next one is Carla Lockhart, and she's from Upper Bann. Okay. And the other guy, Jim Allison, he's from the Alliance, so he's I think he's the part that actually takes both. I think. No. He's from the other quarter. Anyway, here's Gavin first.
Having abused the privilege of our nation, the perpetrator living in the UK under a 5-year visa needs to be convicted and deported on the first flight out on a one-way ticket.
Okay.
Well, I would say to the right honourable gentleman, first of all, the footage that many people have seen is indeed truly horrifying. On his last point, as he will be well aware, any foreign national who abuses the hospitality of this country to commit crime should be in no doubt of our determination to deport them. We need to allow the criminal justice process to take place. On his question about net migration, as he will know, it is now down 82% from the peak reached under the previous government.
You go. Right now, what kind of annoys me about, because he's a slippery character, is Ben. He basically says something, but he gives you the impression that something's going to get done, but it isn't, because he's saying, yes, deport, but he hasn't actually said he is going to do it. He's going to actually wait for the legal processes to take place. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be so many of these solicitors to come forward to come and help this guy, okay, that he'll actually probably spend all of his time in prison. And it's the money that's going to come through. And here's Carla.
Before you do, can I just make a quick point? I wouldn't deport. You know, the serious ones, the murderers, the really serious
death penalty.
Ones, they've got to be put to death, right? I'm
death
sorry.
penalty.
I'm sorry it's going to get to this point, but I mean, if that's not a deterrent, because we haven't got one at the minute, deport, like you say, deport them, that's not a deterrent, because they know they're never going to go.
That's
just
right.
Get caught up in loops of human rights nonsense while someone's making a load of money off it.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's Carla, and she's going to have a go.
Communities in Northern Ireland are angry. They are demanding answers, and they deserve answers. And it's not lost on the people of North Belfast, who is in this place today speaking up for working class communities who are very concerned about uncontrolled immigration and the fact that many houses now, that mayors won't even tell how many houses they have full of immigrants.
See, why is it that it's difficult to actually get angry about this? Why is it that everybody's got to go into a competition of how they can speak so calmly about it? And, you know, we're going to have to deal with this without actually having to get angry and stuff like that. If people are justifiably angry, let them express it.
I know, mate.
Do something about it.
As soon as someone says anger, oh, they're on them. Oh, you've caused all this. And then we go back through tweets and go, okay, you've said it. Righteous fury, you've all said it.
That's what Lammy was so two-faced about it.
You've all said it,
but two-faced.
When we say it, oof, they're on you like, oh, you bad man. You bad man for getting angry.
Trevor Phillips was on it, wasn't he? Do you remember on Sunday? Trevor Phillips was right onto him and showed the inconsistency and the duplicity of the man.
How many times, John, ask yourself this, and anyone watching, how many times have you got angry and then gone out and done something like beheaded someone on the street or burns a house down or something? Not once. So you can't say by someone saying get angry that means they're going to go out wanting to hurt people. No, the people you're letting come here weren't angry on the way in. They would probably be nice to the immigration officials. Oh, hiya, I've come from a horrible, nasty country. Can you help me? And then they're angry when they get here. What? Oh, it's just so back to front.
Well, here's Jim Allison, and I think he's Alliance. I have to check on that. I think he is. He's Alliance, and listen to what he had to say, and listen to what Slippery Ben said back to him.
We're all shocked by the sheer savagery of this attack, and indeed the only bright spot in this orgy of violence was the brave intervention of local citizens whose courage we salute. But what I want to know, and what I know my constituents want to hear, is what will be done to stop the importation of an alien culture that thinks it's appropriate to try and behead someone within the United Kingdom. And on the immigration status of this person, did they hold a visa before they came to the United Kingdom? Did they obtain a visa having come illegally to the United Kingdom? I think we're entitled to know. And I do say to the Secretary of State, this House should be getting its information from the Secretary of State, not from the press conference of a Chief Constable. And I think the House is entitled to know, because it's truth and transparency, which is the greatest antidote to rising tensions. So can we have the answers?
Listen, well, Ben, what he actually did, all right, and I here's the full one. I mean, you got to hear this.
I know what will be done to stop the importation of an alien culture that thinks it's appropriate to try and behead someone within the United Kingdom?
I'm sorry that the honourable
this.
gentleman used the word alien culture.
Straight away.
Because what exactly is he referring to? What the British people have had enough of.
People from shitholes who come here and kill people.
That's right. It's alien. It's alien to us. I mean, this is what I don't understand about these people. I mean, Ben is not a stupid person.
It's deflection. It's deflection. Never remember that cartoon when it was kids Batfink and he had the wings of steel and he just deflected the bullets. That's what they do. Not listening to deflect it all and call you names. I'm surprised he didn't call him racist, Nazi, bigot. How dare you even?
That's what this. I mean, that's why I would have.
I'm getting angry now. Sorry, go on.
I wouldn't have a single ounce of sympathy, right? If this guy got attacked himself. Let's see how he would be feeling about that. If he was the one that was the subject of a criminal offense against him. I'm not wishing anything against him, but let's see how he would react, because he's sitting there all calm, right, about this and saying, well, alien culture is the wrong thing to say. Yes, it is, because they are fucking aliens. They shouldn't be here. And the reason why Jim Allison is getting annoyed and the rest of them are is because they came over from the Republic of Ireland. They hopped and skipped over the border. And that's why they're complaining, to say that that border should be in place and we should enforce that border.
Well, this is the problem. So he might have united the two sides of Northern Ireland, but Starmer's probably going to go one better now and actually put the divide back up between the two countries. And you just be like, holy, really, mate? Like, have you achieved that, you absolute div? But, I mean, just look at him, John. These people are just poison. I was going to make another point, but I just got distracted by me righteous anger and forgot what I was going to say. But, wow.
I know. It kind of, they have to realize now they're on their way out. So as it is now, right from the very, very beginning, we're actually sitting there and we're now realizing, this, right at the very beginning.
The left knows that they are demographically doomed forever. So the only thing that they can do, number one, is seize on your kids, seize on the family relationship, and use something there to try to inject their minds with the woke mind virus, toxic ideology, or to add in people from across the world who don't share the same common belief system, which encourages mass migration of all types into the country.
They're your enemy. Labour are your enemy. Do not trust a single Labour councillor, Conservative councillor. Restore maybe, Reform maybe, but, well, maybe Restore first. But, as far as I'm concerned, do not trust any of these people. Do not give them power, because they are destroying your culture. They're destroying our country as we know it.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but the way they're going to do this, and this is indoctrination in your schools time, so take note, ask your kids what they've been doing this week, because this week they've been telling the children that these people that come over and get put in detention camps, they've done nothing wrong. They've not broken any laws. They've come here for a better life. So explain to your children that when they enter this country illegally, because they are criminal migrants, that they broke two sets of UK legislation, right?
Yeah.
Where they're not meant to enter the country by those routes. So just remind these teachers that they profess to teach British law in school, don't they? Well, maybe they should practice what they preach. So I would ask your children what you're doing in school. What did you do today? Especially
Keep a check on it.
And if you don't think they're going to sneak it into English, that's exactly what they do. So you've got to watch out now, because they'll shift it round to different lessons and put it in assemblies, so you can't locate where this brainwashing's coming from. So every time your child comes home from school now, you need to de-indoctrinate them a little bit on some of the stuff they're teaching them, mate, because that's what they're doing now, making kids believe these people have nothing wrong at all.
Definite plan. It's a definite plan of action, and people are waking up to it. But you've got to actually say, don't vote for them. Get rid of them. Get them out of power. Okay?
Yeah.
And maybe you might just start to see life improve in this country and a better future for your kids, because under this government and under these people here, these kids do not have a future, because it's going to be dystopian, especially under these people, because they just want control, you know?
It's going to be bad. But look, who was it? It was the Conservatives who gave that guy indefinite leave to remain.
I know.
He just skipped his way through Europe. No one. I tell you what, they know more about this guy than letting on. I don't know what the latest update is. I haven't really looked at that recently, been busy. But I can bet you bottom dollar that there's some kind of past in another country where he's done something wrong, because there always is, John, isn't there? That's why they're not in their own countries. That's why they skip through countries through Europe, because they get up to no good. And then he ends up here, and then he takes it all out on some poor fella who's just trying to help him.
Help him.
So everyone
nice
now,
to
drop what you're doing. Drop all your nicey stuff. Drop your silly dancing on ice and watching your silly soaps, and get off your arses and try and fix this country.
Yeah,
you can rage about it on the internet all you want, and then you can go off and watch your football and your rugby and do all your other stuff. Great. But in between that, maybe come and try and help fix this mess, because it's not going to fix itself.
Well, my view is that you've got to look after the people in your community. You've got to look after your own. You know, and I'm not saying that you've got to ostracize people that are trying to integrate, but you've got to keep an eye out now, and you've got to make sure, you know, that people are okay. Make sure that, you know, if you see, you know, young girls, you know, on their own, right?
Yeah.
Make sure that, you know, you think they're okay. You know, it's just wrong with what's happening now. There's too much predatory nature, you know, in these people. And you can see it. You can see it, and it's happening. And people are genuinely nervous. And I'm genuinely nervous, Mark, to be white. I've said it before, you know.
I'm nervous to be English, because we're being replaced in our own homeland. But
and they're trying to do it.
At least do some good in your community. Do some good. I know you're saying people are trying to integrate, but okay, let's
some of them are.
Let's have a test. So look at your local takeaway shops, right?
Yeah.
How many of them integrate? How many of those people from the Indian restaurants, because they're not Indians, right? How many of them come and speak to you? How many of them do you see out and about and have conversations with? How many of them do come in this pub? Zero. I could say the same for a lot of them, mate. The Chinese and the Chippy. When do you ever see them apart from going to Chippy? Come on, it's time now to sort this out.
Also, I think Hillary Benn,
who do good, who benefit us, but
somebody very intelligent has just texted me and said, there is nothing wrong with calling an illegal alien, okay? Because in the technical and legal sense, you are considered an alien the moment you enter a country where you do not hold citizenship.
Yeah, and as I said, John, according to 2 acts of Parliament, coming through illegal routes makes you a criminal. You've committed a crime.
Yes.
And it'd be the same in a lot of other countries. If you just rocked up there and went, oh yeah, I'm coming in your country, they'd be like, hey, I don't think so. Have you asked? Have you been given permission? No. Well, if you come any further, it's a crime. You might even get really, really harsh punishments in some other countries, you know. You might not ever be seen again.
I just think Labour are evil now under Starmer. I think they're evil.
They
I think
are, but
you know,
it's not solely their fault, though, is it? This system's been created.
They've got to, all their MPs have got to stand up and say no. Oh, yeah. They've got to stand up and say no. And even the Conservatives, you know, now that are just like having a change of heart, you know, and they're saying they've got to get rid of this, they've got to get rid of that, you know, and all the rest of that stuff.
Kemi's on the bandwagon now, saying what we've been saying for years. We've got to get rid of that equality duty out of the Equality Act. No, the whole Equality Act needs to go. How about a meritocracy act?
Yeah.
Because here we go, and this is how you know they're not going to fix the problem, right? So they won't shut the gates. They'll come after anyone who says anything about it, anyone who stands up for it, right? So they're never going to fix that. And if you think they're not going to fix this whole racial bias thing, well, there was one of them there, I think, who is she? She's got short grey hair. I think she's from the Lib Dems. Well, she was saying...
Glib Dums.
She openly said this. Yeah, the Glib Dums. She openly said, if there was two people who had the same qualifications and they went for a job, right, and one had the same colour skin as me and you, and one of them had African heritage, who do you think she said should get the job, John? Well, it's not the guy or the woman who looks like me and you, is it, mate?
Right.
So they're openly admitting that you're not going to get a job in place of other, what they call races or colours, skin or whatever label they use that day to beat you with.
Yeah.
And then you can't say you want to try and stop all this, what they're doing to the country. You've got no way out of this. These people tell you what they're going to do, and their actions speak louder than their words, in fact. So,
well, let's wrap it up. We've had a good old chat about this. Let's leave the end to Amelia, still not woke and crying. And let's say we'll see everybody on Friday, probably around about the same time. Okay, we'll let everybody know. Thank you very much to everybody that's been commenting. And thank you to all the listeners and the people that are going to be listening tomorrow, because that's what happens, you know. And to all the people that are looking at the shorts, wow. I mean, some of the shorts that we've been doing is past the 1 million mark. Great. Absolutely superb.
All right, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely superb.
Almost as high as net immigration was last year. That's one for every immigrant.
There you go.
Sorry, we haven't been that funny tonight. We haven't told any joke. We haven't lost.
No, we haven't. We haven't. Well, it was serious. It was serious.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Well, we'll see everybody on Friday. It's Friday. It'll be mixed for the weekend. We'll relax a little bit more. Take it easy, everybody, and we will speak again very soon. Au revoir.
Ta-da.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your tweet thread might actually end me. Oh wait, no it won't. I'm still collecting checks while you're ratioed into oblivion, buddy. Keyboard crusader fighting for the cause from your mom's basement. Pajamas with sauce. You're speaking truth to power at 3 a.m. Power's laughing, bro. Go touch some grass again. Words can cut deep if you're terminally online, but I'm over here thriving, you're just maligned. You cancel me weekly, trend for a day, then cry when your followers all run away. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words can't define me. Poor you, hate comments, death threats, all that jazz. I just screenshot and laugh, honestly. Sticks and stones, yeah, they hurt real bad, but I'm out here winning while you're terminally mad. You throw shade like it's charity work. Sticks and stones, babe, and I'm still unbothered, jerk. Instagram activist, bio full of pronouns, calling me problematic from 6 different accounts. You're protecting the children with your outrage parade. Meanwhile, your search history needs its own crusade. Subtweet storming coming, better grab the popcorn. You're mad, I'm succeeding, it's honestly so on. Think of the marginalized, you scream in all caps while blocking anyone who claps back. Words can cut deep if you let the mob win, but I'm bulletproof, darling, with 0 fucks given. You trend your pile on, you virtue signal hard, then just when the receipts hit your credit card.
Yeah, Amelia, that's one of them t-shirts.
It's another excellent vid from the British Patriots. Well done to those guys. Brilliant. Give them a sub.
Sometimes, but I'm building empires while you're writing bad rhymes. You throw shade, I turn it to gold. Sticks and stones, honey, and you're still alone and cold. Oh no, the group chat's coming for me tonight. How will I ever recover from this brutal fight? They said I'm problematic, toxic, and cancelled. Quick, someone call the ambulance, I'm dismantled. Please, your outrage is cute, it's basically free content. Keep feeding the algorithm, you're so benevolent. Sticks and stones may break my bones. The whole
it's a great song, actually.
Try hard comments, pile-ons, all that noise. I just mute it, keep shining, what a choice. Sticks and stones, yeah, they hurt real bad. Sure they do. I'm out here laughing while you're forever mad. You throw shade, I turn it to light and clouds.
Chair dancing like Tai Chi exercise.
Fine. Good night.
Good night.
Sticks and stones. Cry more in the comments. I'll be over here
it's New
counting
Brighton
wins.
Beach.
Block. mute,
Yeah, it's way
glow
too
up.
sunny.
Yeah, I'm tragically unbothered. La, la,
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos and songs, please give us a like, subscribe, share, and if possible, a hype. That way more people get to see this awesome content.